Initiating System 1.
Customer pilots directed almost 3,000 precision strikes last year. We're super proud of it. It allows you to separate the bad guys from the good. It's a big deal. But we have something much bigger. Your kids probably have one of these, right? Not quite. Hell of a pilot? No. That skill is all AI. It's flying itself. Its processor can react 100 times faster than a human. The stochastic motion is an anti-sniper feature. Just like any mobile device these days, it has cameras and sensors, and just like your phones and social media apps, it does facial recognition. Inside here is 3 grams of shaped explosive. This is how it works. Did you see that?
I call upon the scientific community in our country, those who gave us nuclear weapons, to turn their great talents now to the cause of mankind and world peace.
In our obsession with antagonisms of the moment, we often forget how much unites all the members of humanity. Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet, I ask you, is not an alien force already among us?
This is Madison Square Garden in New York City, and not Berlin nor Nuremberg.
1,700 police officers in total. It was the largest police presence at any event in New York until 9/11.
At the head of the organization is a man named Fritz Julius Kuhn.
Fritz Kuhn was at the apex of his power. He thought he was now the Führer of America.
The hall are supporters of the German-American Bund.
The symbols of America and the symbols of Nazism sit side by side. So you get a large banner behind the podium of George Washington, flanked by swastika flags and American flags.
Winchell could not allow the event to go unnoticed by the American people.
American patriots, I'm sure I do not come before you tonight as a complete stranger. You all have heard of me through the Jewish-controlled press as a creature with horns, a cloven hoof, and a long tail. We, with American ideals, demand that our government shall be returned to the American people who founded it.
Some Americans publicly admire the Nazis and envision a fascist America.
Founded as a student anti-war movement, takes a dark turn when Charles Lindbergh becomes its spokesman.
The natural passions and prejudices.
Lindbergh asks his audience, who's leading us to war? It's the Jews.
The British, the Jewish, or the administration.
And then he slips into some of the worst anti-Semitic tropes. And why are we getting this message to go to war? Where are we getting it from? Well, we're getting it from the media. And don't the Jews control the media?
This is an historic moment. We have in this past year made great progress. Our objectives are clear: to comply with the will of the United Nations. We're here for more than just the price of a gallon of gas. What we're doing is going to chart the future of the world for the next 100 years. We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders. Some may ask, why act now? Why not wait? The answer is clear. The world could wait no longer. I'm hopeful that this fighting will not go on for long, and that casualties will be held to an absolute minimum. And I repeat this here tonight. Our troops will have the best possible support in the entire world, and they will not be asked to fight with one hand tied behind their back. Indeed, for the innocents caught in this conflict, I pray for their safety. I pray for peace. I am convinced not only that we will prevail, but that out of the horror of combat will come the recognition that no nation can stand against a world united. No nation will be permitted to brutally assault its neighbor. No president can easily commit our sons and daughters to war.
You were both in Skull and Bones, the secret society.
It's so secret we can't talk about it.
What does that mean for America? The conspiracy theorists are going to go
I'm
wild.
sure they are. I don't know. I haven't seen the rest.
Number 322?
First of all, he's not the nominee, and look, I look forward.
Are you prepared to lose?
No, I'm not going to lose.
And now's the time when things are shifting. There's going to be a new world order out there, and we've got to lead it. And we've got to unite the rest of the free world in doing it.
This won't be a regular war. This is not going to be, as I say, army tanks running back and forth, shooting each other. These are weapons of mass destruction, the likes of which nobody's ever seen. I've seen them.
That the only way these people get on with their happy lives is they do not know about it.
I felt the air rise up in me, kneel down and clear the stone of leaves. I wander out where you can't see. Inside my shell I wait and bleed. I felt the air rise up in me, kneel down and clear the stone of leaves. I wander out where you can't see. Inside my shell I wait and bleed.
Yes, sir. My trigger.
What difference does it make? Yeah, that's their favorite line. Got a lot of people, what difference does it make? You can't figure out what difference it makes? If you can't figure out what difference it makes that the people running your world have fucking lied to you over and over your whole life, if you can't figure out that someone lying to you is trying to control you. Suppressing of information, of knowledge, is control. Deception of information and knowledge is a form of control. So what difference does it make? It makes a big difference, because once they start omitting information or lying about information about where you live, they're doing it to control you.
In 1965, DARPA launched Project Pandora, which studied the possibility of using microwave radiation to control human behavior, to develop what they call next-generation non-surgical neurotechnology. It is designed to allow the human brain to directly interface with machines.
We know that DARPA is exploring human-machine interfaces that include direct connections between the brain and outside systems. That's been from the beginning of DARPA's information technology mission, and it continues to this day. DARPA has created some of the most influential technologies of all time, things that we use and take for granted every day, including the project that became the internet, would be the ultimate technological achievement that would fall into this realm of mind control and direct human-machine interface that DARPA may well want to keep secret.
Now the time has come to write the next great chapter in the history of our armed forces, to prepare for the next battlefield, where America's best and bravest will be called to deter and defeat a new generation of threats to our people, to our nation.
That's a ring of my profession. You don't know nothing about that.
Okay, which profession are we talking about?
Just look at it. Is it a legal profession? Of course it's legal. It's a ring of my profession.
They're flying toasters. Look, see? They're toasters and they're flying, and then, oh, here comes the Brandon! And God, look at it, gobble it up again.
Let me show you something.
Yeah, okay.
Here, okay.
Huh? Wow.
We did some things that were wrong. We did a whole lot of things that were right. But we tortured some folks.
reduce the population? Well, the answer to that question is right under our feet. Who's behind the New World Order? The Masons?
Yes.
The Illuminati?
Yep.
The Bilderberg Group?
Yep.
Bohemian Club?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody really knows. But when the group emerges to put the entire planet under a single dictatorship, they'll need a few methods to get everyone to comply. They'll implement mass surveillance, but tell us it's for protection. They'll consolidate mainstream media into a small handful of corporations that will publish propaganda as an official narrative and censor anyone who disagrees. They'll disarm the population, eliminate religion, take over education from preschool to university, indoctrinating young people with their narrative.
But,
They'll need to establish a single currency. To do this, they'll need to crash the current banking system, so the general population loses faith and places their money in accounts protected and managed by the state.
Sheep.
Let's say that eventually all this comes to pass. It will be much easier to control people if there are fewer people to control. So when the New World Order is finally implemented, depopulation will be part of that plan. But you can't send soldiers out to knock off the population. It wouldn't work. They won't turn on their own people. So it has to be done secretly in a way that doesn't arouse suspicion. According to the New World Order plan, this could be done with, say, a global pandemic. I know what you're thinking. This also happened, but that wasn't caused by the Illuminati.
Bruh. When I was a kid, the disaster we worried about most was a nuclear war. That's why we had a barrel like this down in our basement, filled with cans of food and water. When the nuclear attack came, we were supposed to go downstairs, hunker down, and eat out of that barrel. Today, the greatest risk of global catastrophe doesn't look like this. Instead, it looks like this. If anything kills over 10 million people in the next few decades, it's most likely to be a highly infectious virus rather than a war. Not missiles, but microbes. Now, part of the reason for this is that we have invested a huge amount in nuclear deterrence, but we've actually invested very little in a system to stop an epidemic. We're not ready for the next epidemic. But in fact, we can build a really good response system. We have the benefits of all the science and technology that we talk about here. We've got cell phones to get information from the public and get information out to them. We have satellite maps where we can see where people are and where they're moving. We have advances in biology that should dramatically change the turnaround time to look at a pathogen and be able to make drugs and vaccines that fit for that pathogen. So we can have tools, but those tools need to be put into an overall global health system, and we need preparedness. The best lessons, I think, on how to get prepared are, again, what we do for war. For soldiers, we have full-time waiting to go. We have reserves that can scale us up to large numbers. NATO has a mobile unit that can deploy very rapidly. NATO does a lot of war games to check, are people well-trained? Do they understand about fuel and logistics and the same radio frequencies? So they are absolutely ready to go.
Biggest lie, it would have to be the fucking U.S. government, actually.
Ooh, give me it.
No, I'm serious. The biggest lie is the U.S. government. It's not what it used to be. It used to be so sick and about the people and about freedom and all that shit, but now it's just bullshit. Now it's a fucking reality show, and I think there's going to be a lot of weird shit that happens within our lifetime and within our generation that really changes the way of the world. So move somewhere, because whenever martial law is declared, you have whenever the credit cards fail, whenever your cards fail, whenever your banks fail and you can't use your fucking card anymore, you have 3 days to get out of where you are, because that's when they're coming for you. That's the big move. That's checkmate right there. And they think they have you. But move out to the country, get your scraps, stand up for yourself.
just know that. I once reached a stage in my life where I was completely convinced that I've gone over the brink.
I've always been mad. I know I've been mad, like the most of us are. They have to explain why you're mad. Why should I be frightened of dying? There's no reason for it. You've got to go sometime.
Relax and take notes while I take totes of the marijuana smoke. Throw you in a choke, gun smoke,